Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, April 12th. I'm Aryeh O'Sullivan, and this is IBA News broadcasting from Jerusalem. Israel has carried out dozens of strikes against Hezbollah in order to prevent it from obtaining advanced weaponry, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has revealed. In a rare admission yesterday while touring the Golan Heights, the Prime Minister admitted that Israel had been involved in a series of airstrikes in Syria. Netanyahu stressed that Israel operates when necessary, including across the border, adding that it has attacked dozens of times in order to prevent Hezbollah from receiving game-changing weapons. Netanyahu noted that if Israel needs to go to war, which he described as a real possibility, it is only because it was unable to prevent the dangers to the state in any other way. Opposition leader and head of the Zionist Union, Isaac Herzog, said he will cooperate should police decide to open a criminal investigation against him. Herzog's comments on Army radio this morning came after police yesterday asked Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit for permission to open a criminal investigation into graft allegations concerning Herzog's campaign for the 2013 Labor primaries. Police reportedly plan to question Herzog under caution in order to determine whether he violated the law when he ran for party leadership 3 years ago. News of the police probe first surfaced in March when it was revealed that Herzog, along with Minister of Interior Aryeh Deri, were the subjects of an investigation. At the time, Herzog said the probe was the result of political slander against him. 5 Jewish Israelis, including a soldier who serves in a combat unit and 2 minors, are being held on suspicion of perpetrating or plotting hate crimes against Palestinians. Police revealed the details yesterday after a court judge agreed to partially lift a gag order on the investigation. 3 of the suspects are reportedly brothers. The 2 minors, aged 16 and 17, are suspected of perpetrating attacks against Palestinians. One was arrested on April 5th and the other yesterday. Police identified the 2 adults also arrested on April 5th as Dana Shinur and Pinchas Shandorfi. Police said Shinur is suspected of setting a Palestinian's car on fire, conspiring to commit a crime, and being a member of an illegal organization. Shandorfi is suspected of security offenses. The Petah Tikva Magistrates Court yesterday extended the remand of the suspects until April 18th. Reconciliation with Israel will not be reached until the blockade of the Gaza Strip is lifted, a spokesman for Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan emphasized. Speaking to reporters in Ankara yesterday, the spokesman stressed that his country will not drop its demand in order to normalize ties with Israel. He noted that talks between the 2 countries to settle the issues are ongoing. His statements came just days after Turkish officials said progress had been made towards finalizing an agreement and restoring ties between Jerusalem and Ankara. Israeli and Turkish teams recently met in London in an effort to reach a deal. Relations between the 2 countries reached an all-time low in 2010 when 9 Turkish activists aboard the Mavi Marmara ship seeking to break an Israeli blockade into the Gaza Strip were killed after Israeli commandos who boarded the boat met with violent resistance. Professor Menachem Klein, a Middle East expert from the Bar-Ilan University, is in the studio with us now. Thanks for joining us, Professor Klein.
My pleasure.
Professor, the Shin Bet have released details that says that there's been a sharp decrease in terror attacks. Do you think that maybe perhaps the Palestinians realize that violence doesn't work?
We don't know, but I assume that the Shin Bet takes the credit for itself and the Israeli government for reducing the individual's attack on stabbing and armed attack against the Israelis, but nobody knows. Tomorrow it can start a very different statistics. So who knows?
You know, some people have called this an intifada. Do you think it's an intifada? And if it is, how is it different from the previous intifada?
I do think that it is intifada. The first intifada started for about 2 or 3 years as a popular uprising, mass demonstrations in the streets, and then it turned to be in armed gangs, an intifada of armed gangs attacking Israeli settlers and soldiers. The second intifada was done from start by armed groups and with suicide terrorists attacks inside Israel. But this one is done by individuals, not orchestrated by a central command room or a group or political streams, and the individuals act in a vacuum. Unlike the first and the second intifada, which within an organization, a political organization, gangs and so on, here the individuals operate in a vacuum of leadership, destroyed political entity, everything is in ruins.
You talk about a vacuum of leadership. The Fatah leader, Marwan Barghouti, who is in Israeli prison for crimes for terror, for his role in leading to the murder of Israelis, has just announced that he's going to be a candidate for president. What's that about?
Yeah, that's very interesting. At a very early stage, without a date for the next presidency and or parliament elections, he already put himself in race, contesting, challenging Abu Mazen, and even pushing him further as a lame duck. And this forces some senior Fatah members to declare their loyalty or support for Marwan Barghouti. So they move away from Abbas. And this is a very, very interesting development within Fatah, which sharpened the domestic division and the succession fight inside.
Is Barghouti still considered more popular than Abbas?
Oh, definitely so. It's in the last year, more than 2/3 of the Palestinian public opinion demand Abbas to step down. And Marwan Barghouti is more popular than any other candidate, Hamas included, Hamas leaders included. So, and also, he challenges also Mohammed Dakhlan, who is in the Gulf, in the Emirates, have some declare aspirations to be the next president, but did not declare his candidacy yet. So Marwan here steps in and challenges both Dakhlan and Abbas.
I suppose he assumes he will get out of Israeli prison if he gets elected.
Maybe, but he takes into consideration that not. And what is also more interesting is that he published a platform, a well-developed platform, what to do next, a strategy for Palestine, which Abbas lacks. So here he challenges Abbas from every corner possible.
Now, Abbas is going to the UN. He's going to submit to the UN a resolution condemning Israeli settlements. What other plans does he have up his sleeves, do you think?
Not so much, not so many. And we don't know what the U.S. administration decided already or may decide in the near future, whether to vote for veto, to veto this resolution, to support, to abstain. Where France is, we don't know, but not much. And he is a lame duck, and everybody knows that he is a lame duck, and perhaps this is the last option that he can use, the last bullet in the weapon that he can use.
We don't have much time, but Professor Klein, what in your opinion are the chances of the Israeli-Palestinian peace talks resuming?
Close to zero.
Okay, Professor Klein, thanks so much for joining us today in IBA News. Police Chief Ronnie Al-Sheikh today spoke about the dangers of issuing gun permits to members of the public, emphasizing the need to ensure that those allowed to carry weapons receive the necessary training and skills. Speaking at an Israeli security conference in Yad Binyamin, Al-Sheikh warned that an unskilled person who uses a weapon in an urban area poses a danger to others. He said police were required to examine all the pros and cons when asked to address the issue on whether additional weapons in the streets will enhance security. He also noted that weapons have the potential of being stolen, and the police pursuit of stolen weapons is endless. But Al-Sheikh did emphasize that civilians armed with weapons have often made a difference in the case of terror attacks. The country's defense ministry is expected to publish dozens of tenders concerning the evacuation and transfer of IDF bases in the center of the country to the north and south. The process is expected to begin in the coming weeks. Once empty, the land the bases are situated on will pave the way for the construction of some 60,000 housing units. The announcement made by the ministry's Engineering and Planning Division yesterday said the transfer of army bases will free up some 8,000 dunams of real estate in the center of the country. The entire process is expected to culminate in 2023. Some of the bases to be evacuated were built during the British Mandate and include Srifin, Sirkin, Tel HaShomer, Glilot, Sde Dov, Castina, and the military prison 6 in Atlit. And now something we can all relate to, music. Maestro Zubin Mehta took the time out from general rehearsals with the Israeli Philharmonic Orchestra to discuss his love for the Jewish state. In a short interview with Channel One's Daniel Ophir, Mehta spoke about the Israeli audience amid the frenzied preparations for the orchestra's upcoming trip to Mumbai, India. Well, they will perform 3 concerts marking the occasion of the famous conductor's 80th birthday. 5 internationally acclaimed soloists, Pinchas Zuckerbin, Denis Mitsuyev, Amanda Forsyth, Maria Katsrava, and Andrea Bocelli will also perform all the concerts, which start on April 17th.
Every concert with the Israel Philharmonic has a special meaning.
Why is that?
Why? Because they are the Israel Philharmonic. They are special. And I love them, and I look forward to every single concert, whether it's here, or it's in Buenos Aires, or Tokyo, or Haifa. I look forward to it, believe me. As far as audience is concerned, we have very good audience, very good. And I don't want to hear any more that the audience is not young. Because the audience for classical music has always been middle-aged. When I first came in 1961, people said, oh, we don't have young people. Now they say the same thing. But if you ask them now, if they came when they were young, maybe they'll say they didn't come. So it's a acquired taste. It takes a generation.
American comedian and former Tonight Show host Jay Leno has donated a fully equipped ambulance motorbike to Israel's United Hatzalah at a sold-out concert fundraiser at New York's Lincoln Center. Leno invited Eli Baer, the founder and president of the organization, onto the stage and praised the organization's work, noting that none of his collection of motorcycles saves lives. He said he decided to donate an ambulance with all the trappings. United Hatzalah offers rapid response aid to the public and has hundreds of volunteers who man the specially equipped motorbikes and ambulances, offering around-the-clock treatment.
Well, I hope to come to Israel and visit whoever receives the bike, the ambulance bike, and love to meet some of the people he saved with it and hear all the stories. So, thank you.
For all those seeking to enjoy themselves without having to open their purse strings, the Festival from the South begins tomorrow in Ofakim. The event that was organized by students of the Sapir College near Sderot starts at around 4 in the afternoon. People of all ages are invited to participate in an array of events, including creative, ecological, and origami workshops, a cooking workshop run by Chef Chaim Cohen, art exhibits and street shows, as well as a number of concerts, all free of charge.
She's nothing like a girl you've ever seen before. Nothing you can compare to your neighborhood. Oh, I'm trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful.
In local money matters, shares were down in late afternoon trading on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, while the shekel was up in foreign currency trading. Here are the numbers. Turning to the weather, and temperatures are set to plummet even further, with the forecast calling for more rain, thunder, and lightning, and the possibility of snow on Mount Hermon. Here are the highs and lows at home and abroad for the next 24 hours. That's all for this newscast. I'll be back here tomorrow to bring you the latest breaking news from Israel. Please join me. I'm Aryeh O'Sullivan, wishing you a good evening and shalom from Jerusalem.